So in this video, I want to talk about a few points that I believe would help you decide on how you want your training to be funded. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for watching this video. Currently, I'm in a hotel room. It's a holiday here. And of course, as a pilot, you're still going to work. By the way, I should touch on that soon for you guys that that want to become a pilot. There are some pros and cons to it. It's a holiday, but I'm still working. But oh well, I'm living the dream, right? But anyway, here's the deal. How do we fund training? If you want to go into training, how can you fund your flight training? I'm going to share about 4 tips with you here. I mean, more than 4, but the categories that I've put them in are: the first is self-sponsored. In this case, you're probably saving up, you're working, or maybe you're being sponsored by your family members, your parents. The second option is through loans, through maybe through a cadet program that will sponsor your training and then you pay back, or through banks or financial institutions. The third is scholarships. So in this case, you get a scholarship awarded to you that funds your training and you don't have to pay anything back to them, and then last but not least is the military. Let's start with the first one. If you're going to self-sponsor yourself, that means that you must have a lucrative job that is paying you well so that you can sponsor yourself through training. Some people will choose to work for some years, save up some money, and then go train, while some others will try to do a pay-as-you-go type training. And in as much as both do have their pros and cons, it still gets you the dream. In line with being self-sponsored, we have this sponsorship from maybe your parents. In this case, they will probably give you some money towards training, or maybe they contribute towards your training. These are options that you can always explore. But again, it all depends on how capable and financially stable they are to support you in this. So let's talk about financial institution. One of the important things that you would often need when it comes to getting funds from any financial institution is some form of asset to show that you can pay back the loan. And because flight training isn't like a degree program, a lot of banks would often caution loaning money to people that are training to become pilots. The reason is because pilot training, you can start and you may not end up getting to achieve your goal because of just the aptitude that is necessary to succeed. And if you've invested thousands of dollars into training and then the bank is and you don't make it through, the bank is pretty much left holding the bag, chasing you around, to get your money back, when in reality you haven't achieved your goal. So it means that you cannot afford to pay it back. So it becomes complicated for banks to loan out money for people going into training. Now, there are some banks that are designed to loan, or at least they are familiar with flight training, and they're able to tailor your loans to the needs. So in this case, what they will do is that as you progress through training, they fund you along the way. And of course, once they see that you're having issues, they stop funding, and that's it. In line with this one is the second option of finding an airline that will sponsor you through training, and then you just have to pay back. There's so many airlines like that. Unfortunately, not a lot of them are usually quite big and popular in most countries anyway. And they're usually maybe smaller airlines that are looking for people that would stay with them for the rest of their career. So they make you sign a bond and you have to stay with them for a very long time. Now, there are some pros and cons to that, but you just have to look into your contract with the airline before you sign the dots. The next one here is scholarships. Scholarships are great, but they also come with their own issues. You often have to go through a very rigorous process in order to qualify for these programs. And even after that, you then have to go start your training, and then you have to make some commitment to these airlines. Again, similar to the one I just mentioned, you would have to sign the contract with them and show that you are committed to the airline for a while before you can leave. And in as much as this gets you the dream, there's a price to pay, which is your time with the airline. The last but not least here is the military. If you can serve and work for the military, or at least serve the nation, then you are able to get sponsored to training. Now, this isn't always assured, because when you go into the military, you have to go through their tests, and then they will decide on what to award you. If you're going to fly an helicopter, if you're going to fly maybe a fighter jet, if you're going to fly the heavy airplanes, or you probably don't even qualify to go fly at all. That is possible, and that's why you need to do your own research and of course take what is available to you. If it's a helicopter, then you can always do your conversion later on the line, later down the line. If it's a fighter jet or if it's an heavy airplane that you get to fly, then yeah, it's part of it. You just have to know that you would have to serve for some time, most of the time, 10 years plus, and then once you leave, you can then join maybe an airline and work for them for the rest of your career. Now, all these options do have their pros and cons, but for majority of the people, the easiest one to always use is either loans or sponsorship through maybe their jobs or just them saving up enough to train. I hope that you found value in this one. I just wanted to share this with you. There's so many other creative ways out there. Know that, because this is not the holy grail process to it. There's so many other ways you can use to fund training, but I just wanted to share these ones with you, and hopefully you found value in it. If you have, don't forget to drop a like, and I'd love to see you in the next one.